Alrighty, guys. Hopefully, I've got a couple of people here. The mock draft simulator is back. In the chat, pop in your draft that you want to see happen. Let's explore it. Just waiting for some chat to populate. Oh, we had concurrent viewers. No one. They've left. Okay. CDT to the Eagles. Whitman, how are you, mate? Welcome. Good to have you back, man. What do you want to see happen? I've put a little bit of a face upgrade on this one. I've thrown in some club logos. I've patched a little bit of the future picks. When we traded them away, they weren't refreshing when I pressed restart as well. So I've fixed that for us. I'm thinking Richmond want Roby, surely. Then they're going to keep Brizzy honest. Let's get some chats happening, guys, and we'll get some drafts happening. Thanks, man. Thank you. Patterson would be a good get for Richmond, but it's probably not going to happen for him. Gold Coast needs some points. A trade between Essendon and GC. All right, let's have a look. That makes sense. Let's go Gold Coast and Essendon. So trading back from 15. If you get a couple of Essendon's 4th and 5th picks, they're picking up how much they're only picking up 14 points in that regard. Maybe pick 18. Pick 18 for 27 and 30. All right, Essendon are moving up the board. Let's reset it. Essendon move up the board to 15. Okay. So you're probably looking at, to make that viable, 21 and 27 for 15. Gold Coast pick up an extra 280 points. Makes sense. Can't hurt. 21 and 27 for 15. Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet. So they're going to pick up 281 points. Rips, what do we got? Pick 2 and future 3rd. Let's have a look, mate. Let's have a look. I've got to reset it all. So Eagles got pick 2. and a future third. So you're looking at, what are we at, 36, and let's just pretend they finish bottom of the ladder, pick 37, pick 41 to 45 with Academy and all that nonsense jumping in, probably. So what do we want? We want pick 2 and future third for 5, 15 and 21. I think you've. Oh, you're talking about after. Sorry, I'm trying to work out what you're talking about here, because I haven't got 15 just yet. Okay, let's go back. Sorry, I misunderstood. We'll go back to Whitman's trade. So we're looking at Essendon Gold Coast, 15, 21 and 27. All right. I think that's viable. Let's execute that trade. And then Essendon are trading. No, Gold Coast. Who's got 5? 5, 15 and 21. Yeah. They haven't got 21 though. That's the problem. Can you just explain your thing and I'll go through it. So 5, 15 and 21. At the moment, they've only got 5 and 15. The 21's still in Gold Coast hands. So you're talking about trading 15 and 21 from Gold Coast to Essendon, but we need to make a trade to make that happen. Or you got to get rid of 5 because you got picks from 2 different teams working there. Let's reboot it. I'll try to explain. So, yeah, Essendon are 5, Gold Coast are the 15, Essendon are the 21. So you want, at some point, those picks have to line up with the same club. So, yeah, if we kicked off the draft, start of the draft, the morning of the draft, they trade 15 for 21 and 27. I think that's a win-win for both teams. Essendon trade up. They've traded away 21. Maybe that's where you're being confused. So 21's gone. They've got their top 3 picks, so they're going to end up with 5, 6, 15 and pick 30. So they've moved back for their 4th pick. Their 4th pick will move back 3 slots, but their 3rd pick will move up 6 slots. So that works for both clubs perfectly, actually. That's a really good trade. Might write that down. What do we say? 15 for 21. What was it? 15 for 21 and 27. Yeah. That works. That works for everyone. So, yeah, 15 for 21 and 27. Works for Gold Coast. They're picking up an extra 200 points for that Annabelle bid that's going to come in. Essendon move up 6 slots with their 3rd, and they can probably even start looking at a trade with West Coast or something like that. Let's say, well, West Coast are going to hold on to pick 1. Carlton trade 9 for Adelaide's future first. I like that. That's for Cody Walker, isn't it? Carlton trade 9 for Adelaide's future first. You need to throw more. You need to throw more at that for sure, because Adelaide the minor premiers last year, so you're looking at pick 18, pick 20 to 22 in a compromised draft next year. I don't think it's going to be as compromised as this one, but let's just assume that there's 2 or 3 that are going to go down. You can't just trade 9 for 23. That would never happen. 9 and 16. That can do it. That's doable, but Adelaide are probably paying more. Or am I getting confused? I do think West Coast trade pick 13 and 34 for Carlton's pick 9. $13.34 to move up 4 slots. Carlton are picking up an extra 85 points and a second pick. I think that makes sense, to be honest with you, because Whether they're giving up 9 or 13, it doesn't matter to them. It's going to be the same result. It's going to be Harry Dean. And they're picking up more points for their other academy player. So we'll execute that trade. That's how I would read that one. Because Carlton really want to move back and collect points. That's their play. They could probably move back as far as, 14, 15 and expect a bid for Harry Dean, from probably 5 or 6 onwards. And then they're getting value. Gary, how are we going? Would the Dogs trade their second round pick for Brisbane's future first? Let's have a look. Doggies. Second round pick this year will be 33. Remember, I haven't made any draft picks in this situation. For Brizzy's future first. They would, but Brizzy wouldn't do it. Brizzy need to collect points, for Annabelle. I don't think Brizzy would ever do that because they need it. Yeah. Annabelle, they're already short of points for Annabelle. They need to collect points or they're going into further deficit for next year. So, and from what we're seeing, not many clubs want to go into deficit. I read that I think it was only Freo, I think, is one of the clubs that have ever gone into deficit. Can't remember the fella's name. He plays at St Kilda now, I'm pretty sure. Indigenous fella. It'll come to me. Hopefully. But yeah, the clubs don't seem to like to go into deficit because they don't know where they're going to finish up the next year. And if you do have a terrible year, you might be trading back from like a top 4 or 5 pick. You don't know. You might get belted with injuries all year long. Apparently Essendon are interested in trading up to 2, just don't know how to work it. Let's just reboot all these trades. I like 13 for 30, 9 for 13 and 34. I think that works. They don't pick up that many points, but it's more points and, it's going to be Harry Dean anyway. But 34 would be... Yeah, it jumps in front of pick 43, which would be their next time that they want to pick a player. Let's reboot it. West Coast, what are we thinking? Essendon getting pick 2. So pick 2. It's got to involve 5. 5 and 21 looks pretty fair, but I don't know why West Coast would do that. They're losing out on Duff Tytler, Roby, more than likely, and whoever you want to throw in the third. They might even lose out on Sharp in that instance as well. You'd need 21 to be up in the early teens, I think, for it to work. Lance Collard. No, it wasn't Lance Collard. Let me do a quick Google on my phone for you. Liam Henry. That was it. So, yeah, I think Essendon have to make a move before that trade goes through. Pick 33 will come to 28, won't it? Let's have a look. I assume you're talking about once the Gold Coast picks come in and Brizzy's picks come in. So let's just do the generic one that everyone's going with. So this is that deficit. I made a video about this today. They can go into deficit, or we're just trying to find a way to match the bid. All right. So there's a multitude of ways that they can make it happen. I think one of the good ones was for them to trade back with North, I think it was. North are in front of them at this point. Who are we thinking? Just picked up a little glitch I need to fix for tomorrow. All right. Pick 33 will come to 28, won't it? Well, we've just Matt Euland. Let's just go with Annabelle for starters. So they're using 17, 22, 43, 54. They can actually afford him at this point at pick 4. That's if Richmond bid on him. Let's assume that goes through. Picks 33 will come into 28. Yeah, correct. That's Sydney's first that you're referring to. So yeah, five picks are getting burnt at that point. So yeah, I'm thinking it's just what Gold Coast do. Gold Coast need to collect points. So do Brizzy. Brizzy more so because they're in danger of going into deficit. Pick 17 will probably be the one that they can use to collect points. It's just a matter of who wants to trade up to 17. It's not all that enticing. Maybe what about a 39 and 45 from Collingwood? What's that get him? No. Pick 23. Net for Brizzy. They're still falling behind. Yeah, but Collingwood haven't got much to offer. Do Toy realise it's Dog's second pick, this 33, moving to 28 this year for Brisbane's? Didn't realise it's Dog's second pick. I'll reboot it just so we're on board with what you're trying to say here. Doggy's second pick is pick 33. Oh, so you want to know where the Doggies are after those bids. Let's have a look. Okay, so that's a pretty standard scenario. We're assuming either Eagles or Richmond take it to both the Queensland clubs. Doggy's second pick comes into 29, not 28. 29. All right. Who's got some picks? So after the bids, Dogs goes from 33 to 28-ish and then trade that for Lions future first. Oh, okay, and the Lions pick up more points. But at that point, Annabelle's already gone. That's the only thing. Gold Coast pick 15 for the Kangaroos. I like that one. That one was a good one. That definitely benefits both teams. North, yeah, 25 and 26. Unless they've got their eye on two players in that range. Gold Coast pick up 200 points. North move way up the queue. North's second pick, 46, is, a dart throw, but that's all right. So I wouldn't mind exploring Essendon getting to pick 2. So if they can trade 21 and 27 for someone in the mid-teens, let's start from Carlton. So that's a pretty fair trade. Carlton pick up a few more points, move back in the queue. Even pick 9. Carlton lose points in that instance. They won't bother with that. They gain points. They move back. It's getting chewed up with Harry Dean anyway. So then you got 5, 6, and 11 to offer West Coast. 5 and 11 for pick 2. I think that's acceptable for West Coast. And then you just got to consider for Essendon. Oh, they've got a ton of points. Let's execute the trade. They've got 5,000 points at this point because they've got Swade, who's expected to go about pick 20, I believe. So 4,000. Yeah, they're going to have plenty. Picks in the 20s they're under the 1,000 points. They're going to have heaps. But once you burn pick 2 and 6, that might get interesting. Let's run that. Yeah, so this is where that trade throws Gold Coast and Brizzy out a bit. Trade simulator, they're going to get their points off North. We're happy with that. Oh, no, they've already traded that away, haven't they, for Curlin? So they need to do that before the draft. They need to do that before Hewlin goes to make it viable for North. But if they can't, who would you do it at this point in the draft? How are we going to get 35 more points from Gold Coast? For Gold Coast, sorry. Their most valuable commodity is that. Oh, they've got futures. Second rounder. Say pick 30. Let's assume they're top of the ladder, 36. That's worst case scenario. Who doesn't need a pick in 30s? Collingwood, Geelong. West Coast won't use 39. You could do that. West Coast is going to be long finish before 39. They'll have their 3 players. Eagles get a future second. And then they've got a pretty handy haul for next year as well, helping along the rebuild. So that's not a bad trade. If they have to trade after Hewlin's gone, they've got plenty of points for Patterson. Brizzy should be able to match, providing that Annabelle falls to about 5. What was I discussing before? There was something we wanted to explore, wasn't there? Hit me up in the chat, fellas. My mind's just... There was something. What was it? Oh, Essendon. They've traded 3. West Coast are at 8. All right. Yeah, so that's right. So West Coast have got 8, 14. Carlton have moved back to match any Harry Dean bids. Bombers did get 2. Can they play funny buggers and bid on Suns, Blues, NJ? Yeah, 100% they can. Yeah, for sure. Okay, we just need to get to that point where Essendon ended up with pick 2 fairly. So Essendon needed to trade 21 and 27 for 15. That was with Gold Coast. And then 5 and 15 to West Coast for pick 2. And now you got your Bombers with pick 2, and you want them to bid on Newland. Yeah, 100%. They can play funny buggers. They can just wreck everyone. I like the combative Essendon front office. It was unreal seeing and telling Hawthorn it ain't happening. So yeah, you can really put it to them. So they're at 150 point deficit. Let's just put them in deficit. Let's just see. So they're in deficit for next year. Gold Coast, if Patterson went 4. Total points paid. So they've got rid of 24, 25, 26. That's actually right on the money for them. There's 6 points in front. So they can still match Harry Dean if it falls to pick 5 in this instance. AJ Aces, if Bombers did get pick 2, can they play for... Yeah, mate. That's what... Yeah, that would be unreal. Bombers still haven't even picked. They've just wound up everyone else. Doesn't really matter what number the player goes after pick 1. There's no money involved. And now at that point, doggies would love that. That pick's moved way up. The second one, I'd imagine. 28. Tyler Williams would go later for West Coast, won't he? Yeah, I think they're thinking about pick 30. So if we can play that out, we got Dersman at 1. Newland goes 2. Everyone's pretty convinced on that. Let's say we go CDT with pick 2. I'm not too sure which one Richmond want to go first. Patterson, Annabelle. Let's go Patterson. I'll put him in deficit. That's what we'll do. Put him in deficit. Tyler Williams will go later at pick 30. So even after the Eagles have taken, you want to know how many points West Coast have got after pick 15. So we're looking at 1829 minus 973. What's that? It's about 850. And that means they can match him from pick 18 onwards. I think he's expected around the 30s. So they should match him pretty comfortably. I think we're pretty happy with Richmond taking Roby and maybe Grill. I think Essendon can wind up Carlton here. Carlton should move back. There's no reason for them not to. There's no point in spending 12 and... What was it? 12 and 14 at that point. They may as well spend, 14 and somewhere in the 20s. Still going to be the same result. Obviously, their compo pick won't be as high. They got a pretty high compo pick, so they've only moved back... another 3 or 4 spots. There is that to consider. So many moving parts with this draft and how they've set it up. It's pretty cool. I like it. Pain in the ass to code into this thing, can tell you that. Jeez. Essendon take Cumming and maybe Taylor. Melbourne can take Lindsay and Schubert. Hawks, Ollie Greaves. Trying to get Dyson Sharp to fall to West Coast. I think GWS will probably pick him up at this point. That's a major slide. Milkshake, is this all 57 picks or just first round? I'm just throwing scenarios out there. As you guys give us something, I'll try and explore it for you. So this draft goes through to, pretty much 57. What I've got counters down here. How many picks? This is off Cal Twomey's article. He expects them to take, and as the pick gets taken, this counter will count down, and when it gets to 0, and let's say Port Adelaide are on the clock at 44, they'll just auto pass. It'll auto pass, and it's all up. It's about 57 players in total getting taken correct. I hope that's what you meant. Yeah, exactly. So I've based it off what Twomey thinks. That's based on, train on players coming in, rookies, filling out the rest of the list spots. So what we're exploring Tyler Williams after 30. So we just want to see what West Coast look like after pick 15. GWS are going to go Doverston. We've still got Dyson Sharp and Farry, which would be an unreal result. For West Coast, they can take either. Let's say they want Sharp more than Farrow. So West Coast can match a bid for 931 points. Yeah, so they can match it at any point, really, after pick 15. That's for Williams. I hope that makes sense. They'll even have spare. They'll have a little bit of leftover money. They'll get a pick at, 52, something like that. 53, actually. Which you can maybe bundle that up, move up 4 or 5 spots, And then you're looking at Banfield. Thanks, Solary. Appreciate that, mate. Put a bit of time into it. I'm happy with it. There's still tweaks I've got to make and little bugs I find all the time. But we're getting there. I'd like to get it to the people at some point. That would be cool. Just I know how fragile it is behind the scenes. That's the problem. All right, Joe. Someone said they wanted to reboot, but in answering your question, yes, they can match Tyler Williams, pretty much from about pick 15 onwards, which he's not expected to go. Banfield's, I think we've got Banfield about 30s or 40s, if picked at all. I want to show you what I am basing this on, just to get you a better idea. Where is it? So a lot of these rankings are based on this spreadsheet I've got here, where basically, Rookie Me, Zero Hanger, Cal, they've all released their articles as the year's gone on, starting from July 23rd. I've got up to October 24. I'm sure there's 2 or 3 that I can probably fill this out with. And you can basically track whether we're thinking that's Dyson Sharp here. I'm highlighting Dyson Sharp. He's between the ranges of 4 and 8. You know what I mean? They all more or less stay the same. I think the scouts and guys who actually, feet on the ground, they've all got pretty similar views. So that's what I've based these little ranges on, and then they're organised by that range. So, trying to find Banfield for you. There you go to the top. There he is, top 50. All right, so someone said next reboot. Where was that? He thinks about 57. Yeah, that's right. Yep, 57 picks. So there's going to be I've populated this to the top 90 just so I can kind of populate, everyone who they think will come in. A lot of these guys might not get picked up, or train-ons or rookies or whatever. But Will Darcy, you'd like a Darcy on your team, wouldn't you? Even if it doesn't pan out, just have a go. But he's obviously father-son for the doggies. Sam's brother. All right, I've rebooted it. Let's go again. I'm just trying to find that chat that someone said they wanted. Cats NGA kid is going under the radar. I have him top 26. I'm not sure if I've even included him. I hope I have. Is he an NGA? I've missed that. Thank you. I'll write that down. Let me research that one. Mela Cats NGA. I'll look into that, man. Thank you for that. All right. Who wants to make some picks or some scenarios you want to see? He's got another brother, another 14-year-old. Sam's incredible. He could be quite comfortably the best player in this comp. Just the jump he made this year from last was massive. Start putting on some muscle, so he's less of a beanpole. Whew. Not that it's really an issue for him. He uses his height as his main weapon anyway. He doesn't sit under balls and wrestle with everyone else. He just out-jumps them. Next reboot. Let's do this. I can't find... Oh, here we go. Whitman. Next restart. Can we try North Trade Future first one? And both second rounders... Let me just reset it all. Okay, so North. Can we try North Trade Future first and both second rounders for Carlton? That's a steep price. So Carlton lose points there big time by doing that, and that'll make it a lot harder to match a bid on Harry Dean when you're losing 1,400 points. I can't imagine Carlton even thinking about doing that, even if they've got the future first thrown in. I know what you're saying, though. Carlton want to accumulate future first for Walker. I'm thinking that's your train of thought there. But as far as the needs for this year, that doesn't help him. And I can't imagine North wanting to trade their first after what they've done last year. You'd want to see some tangible evidence that they're on their way back up the ladder before that happens. All right, what was the next one? Next reboot, can we try North Trade and second round for Carlton 9-11 with F2 coming back? So Carlton haven't got an F2. They've got Sydney's first rounder. That's from the Charlie Curnow trade. How many points do they need this year? Carlton, they've already got enough for, let's say he goes 5 or 6. Someone bids on him at 5 or 6. It's risky business if the top 4 bid on him. Not that you're really losing out. You're getting the best key defender in the class. So it's not like a catastrophe. But there are a few other talents that are, the scouts are rating a little higher. So I'm just going to do these generic ones that everyone seems to be happy with. So let's say, realistically, He goes at 6. Richmond say they want Sullivan, Roby, and where is he? Harry Dean. They can already match it. They've got 792. Let's roll it back. Let's say they want to do it before Sullivan, Roby. I think they can match that too. Yeah, they can. So really from pick 4 onwards, they've got enough for Harry Dean, but their consideration that they need to take into account is their second guy who's down the back, Ison. He's their next best. So if they want both players, yeah, that's what you're looking at. Let's say they do that trade. Oh, how many points are they? So what was the trade? So we're at that point where we think Harry Dean can go. I'm just going to put Roby in because I think if Duff Tytler's gone, no one's too sure of West Coast landing on Duff Tytler or Roby. That's pretty much the gist. If they don't trade it, that is. It's Duff Tytler, Roby, or trading. Where was I? So where's Harry Dean? Oh, I've got to clear my filter. That's what I'm doing. Just hide them. Get out of the way. All right, so we're at pick 5. Let's go Roby. I think that's more realistic, and they want to match it there. But let's do your trade for that future first. Future first, 9 and 11. That's your trade that you wanted to do? I just want to do it how you want to have a look at it. I'll just wait for your response. Yep, happy with that. Okay, so Sydney's future first, 9, 11. So assuming Sydney go up the queue. No, actually, they won't want to get rid of Sydney's first, will they? Because that's for Walker. They've got their first, Sydney first, and if they've got North's first, they're definitely going to be able to match Walker. But I think John Ralph put some news out. He believes that they're going to change the rules that you can only use 2 picks to match bids next year. So they're going to want to position themselves as high as possible. And obviously targeting someone like North is going to help you doing that. West Coast won't trade theirs. Richmond probably won't trade theirs. Depends on who you think's going to finish down the bottom. Melbourne, maybe. Yeah, Richmond have got their full hand. Melbourne have got a couple of firsts. You could target that for Carlton. I don't think that that trade we had was too viable. Oh, let's just pretend it goes, okay? 11, 13, 25, 26 in the future first. All right, so we'll play it out. Harry Dean. They are short by 1,200 points. It's like way too much. And that's past the limit anyway. In my today's video, I put out there's actually a limit where if you do want to go into deficit, which means you're going to push back next year's picks, you've only got a limit of 1,176 points. So if Carlton were to do that, the AFL wouldn't let them anyway. Darvel, Richmond should split a pick with Essendon and get their 6 and 21. Oh, let's explore it. So, what are we talking? Richmond should split a pick with Essendon. Okay. So they're going to want to get their guy. So let's give them the second pick. That's how we always think of it. Get their 6 and 21. Yeah. As far as points go, they like it. I don't think Richmond really need to match any bids this year, though. I don't know if they've got any. I don't think they've got any. Excuse me. Academy prospects. Sydney, Gold Coast, Essendon. No, they got Callaway as a father-son. Where's Callaway? Have I put him in? I didn't put him in either. Oh, I've got to look at that. There he is. Pick 40, 46. So you can really have, what's that? Pick 40s are like, 200 points. Yeah, they're way short. I don't think they'd ever do that. They wouldn't consider it. There's no point in letting Harry Dean slip when you got him at your doorstep. Doorstep. Jeez. So, Larry, you got any scenarios for us, mate? West Coast trade 2 and 13. Yeah, West Coast would love that. I've seen Essendon fans up in arms about that, but it's very plausible if they're desperate enough for CDT or Roby, whoever they want. Oh, what am I doing? Oosh. Yeah, West Coast runaway winners with that. West Coast would do that in a heartbeat. 1, 5, 6, and 13. Why wouldn't you? I reckon. Essendon fans, I don't think would like it. Picks 3 or 4 for 6 and 21. So I always reckon the club will trade away their second. They want their guy. Makes sense just to get that over the line. For 6 and 21. Yeah, it's pretty fair. It's not far off. You're only really moving up one spot, though. You've already got 5. Let's say it is pick 3 instead. How's that work? How's that look? Essendon, Richmond. So, who are you thinking for pick 3 for Essendon? Two and 13. I think I've already. Oh, I see what you're saying. West Coast lose out if they do that. It's a bit too steep for West Coast. It's not too bad, but it's just they've got that chance to get their guy. you're throwing away a chance him and then the next two best options to move. Yeah. If they've got like a pool of players where like the top six and they just can't split them, you'd maybe do it. You'd maybe think about it. I'd try and extract a bit more out of it. Maybe pick 30. Five, 6, 30. Let's do that. Essendon probably won't use it at that back. Actually, they got Sway, but anyway, they got 4,000 points still to match, and him they're going to match him anyway. And let's say 30 and 34, West Coast can move up. They end up with 1, 5, 6. You're looking at 454, 360. What's that? 800 points. Who needs points around that range? Gold Coast. Actually, you could probably throw in 41. You could throw that together for Gold Coast pick 15. That works. 61 points. Maybe not. Maybe pick 18. Yeah, that way they pick up 200 points. That helps with the Patterson bid. So to get there, what did we do? We did 213 for 5, 6, and 30. So that 30 picks more or less a throwaway. But it does get them enough of a hand to get up to 18. So then you're looking at Eagles with 1, 5, 6, and 18. It's not bad. I think that could be a good result. Essendon wouldn't want to go backwards in points. Essendon have got a ton of points, and really their only guy that they need to concern themselves about is Swade, I'm pretty sure. So, where's Essendon? I need to get a club filter here. I've got to do that. Let me write that down. Club filter in addition to NGA and FS. Club filter. NGA and FS. So, yeah, Swade. I should change that. I've seen him go on a bit higher than 30 to 35. And Alachka. Bravado. Do Eagles not need points themselves, though? They do. They need points. I want to show you how much points they have after these picks. So let's play it out. Where are we? I've got to get rid of this. Dersma, Hewlin goes. Who traded up? So Essendon traded up. They want CDT. Richmond are going to wind up Gold Coast. They've got enough points. That was that Eagles trade that got them there. Just over. Brizzy should be able to match Hannibal at 5. Yep. So when all these picks are gone for West Coast, I'll show you. Who's up next? Richmond are getting Roby. We're happy with that. And let's say they wind up Carlton. Yeah. Carlton can match it. They're going to move back to pick 20. Xavier Taylor for Richmond as a second. So Sullivan, Roby, and Xavier Taylor. It's a good haul. They'll be happy with that. This is where West Coast get what they want. So who we got? Dersma, Sharp. Now, I don't think Farrow is going to fall back because that 19 got pushed back after Carlton got their compo for Dean. You just take Cumming. Why not? That's not too bad. Don't worry about the WA. My mind always just goes back to Farrow with West Coast. But let's just go Cumming. A couple of South Australian boys. Dersma, Dyson Sharp Cumming. Get Duggan or someone to get them under the wings. Shannon Hearn. Talk them into it. Melbourne, we're thinking a key forward. And some polished kicking with Lindsay. How far away from West Coast? 796. Let's just do the quick maths here. 796. Yeah. So you're right, mate. The West Coast will need more points. So 796. They're left with 258, I think. Something like that. Hawthorn, Ollie Greaves. GWS was stoked with Grill. Pair him up with Daniels. That'd be unreal. Essendon. They'll be happy with Farrow, I think. Farrow, Marsh, Doveston. Doggies wouldn't mind a key back. Who's the best key back? Oscar Taylor. Don't know if he's a key back. But Tom Stewart, Daniel Rioli, who jumped late with January. Yeah, that'll do. How far away from West Coast? Adelaide. Adelaide can take I think Jevan Philippou. He's from South Australia. They don't really need a forward. They've got the three dudes up the top there. Carlton again. I think Carlton can just take Ison here. It's not too much of a stretch if I can find him. I've got him way down the bottom for some reason. Okay. There he is. Maybe a bit of a reach. Probably a bit of a reach. And we'll just take Hibbins Hargrave at pick 19 for West Coast. So, 160 points. That means they need Tyler Williams to fall back to pick 44. Very unlikely. I don't think that'll happen. I think Williams will go... Well, they're saying around the 30 mark. Might even go even a bit higher. So you're right. West Coast are giving up a lot of points, putting a bit of risk on Williams and Banfield. All right, let's reboot her. So have I missed any chats here? Sydney need points. Got 2, I think. Do the Eagles need not points themselves? Yeah, sorry, that's what I was trying to... Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, Doveston for the Blues is a good one. They need a forward. They need any forward at the minute. They got Mackay, and that's it. They don't even have Silvani to help them out if they need. I'm trying to think of Carlton's list. No, I can't think of any other forwards of note. They've picked up Sydney. What's his name? He's a Jet, the Sydney fella. I won money on him. He kicked the first goal in the grand final. Sorry, I'm having mind blank. But the guy they got from Sydney, he's a handy forward. He'll help out Mackay. Yeah. Can we work out a trade for Carlton, move back in the draft, and get a future first for next year? Well, what about if I propose, this is an easy one, risky, what about a West Coast future first for Carlton 9 and 11? Oh, that's not going to get him Harry Dean. Ignore me. So really you want to get Carlton a future first and keep Harry Dean, I would assume. And ideally you want a first from one of these, worse teams than Hayward. That's it. Will Hayward. Sorry, mate. Yeah, thank you. That was going to annoy me. Thank you very much. Couldn't think of his name. He won me some money in the one they got belted to Brizzy. Kicked the first goal in the grand final. Future first. Well, let's go through it. Who's got future first to burn? Brizzy, Carlton have already got one. Adelaide, Brizzy, Carlton have got two. Collingwood have got theirs. Hawks. I don't know how you're going to... Melbourne. Melbourne's your best bet for Carlton, getting a future first. So if you want Carlton to get a future first, I think Melbourne's probably your best. I'll go through the rest of the list because they've got Gold Coast. They can just move back in the list and just pray that Gold Coast don't reach their potential. I think Gold Coast are going to be top 4 for a while, though, to be honest. Yeah, Melbourne's your best bet. Yeah, Melbourne. Try and get Melbourne's future first. How would you do it, though? Because Melbourne's picks are in front. They're in front of Carlton's. That's a problem. And they don't need these tail enders. Saints after Filippo to pair with his brother. So that would be an option for a future first for Carlton. So you're saying Saints trade up for a 9 or 11. So Saints future first. Saints could be handy. They did bring in some players this off-season. I'm wondering if that's going to make a shortage of points for Dean, though. We can play it out. Just a straight pick 9 for future first. Or pick 11. Maybe they'll keep that extra 150 points. Give him pick 11. Filippo will definitely fall to 11. We're thinking. We think that's pretty comfortable. Let's try it out. Match bids. Yeah. Annabelle, they're happy. Gold Coast will be happy. So let's say Richmond, they're going to take Roby first, go for Dean second. Yep, they've still got enough. There you go. So who'd we give Saints? We gave Saints Carlton's second pick. And as long as Harry Dean falls to pick 7, they've got enough just by 8 points. They're happy. They get Harry Dean. Richmond end up with Roby and Taylor. They'll take that. Coming to Essendon and where was he? Lindsay with the kick in. Melbourne. Schubert. Would you pair Schubert with Marsh for Melbourne? And just pray one of them turns into a superstar. If you get both of them, you got something to build around there. Yeah, Filippo's going to fall to 14 pretty comfortably, I think. There you go. Saints after Filippo to pair with his brother, so that would be an option. Yeah, I think that can work. So that trade was, just a future first. Saints future first for pick 11. Carlton still get their guy, Harry Dean. They've got next to no points to match for Ison, though. So there's that to consider. But yeah, that's definitely a scenario that can play out. I can see that happening. All right, what have we got? That was a good one. What else? What else we got, guys? Sorry, I didn't miss that. Essendon 21 and 27 and their future first. Melbourne have nothing on in this. Yeah, it's a good point. Melbourne are they're pretty much done after 7 and 8. They pushed back to 37. Is there a way that Richmond can bring their pick in the 30s to the teens? Where are we? Richmond. 38 into the teens. Not without adding futures, I don't think. That pick 81's given no value at all. So you'd have to think about a second. And let's say your second falls around pick 23, 22, 23. That's assuming they have a terrible year. It's them and West Coast down the bottom. So 22 and 38, you would go, it'd have to be late teens. Geelong, maybe? No, they don't need futures. Well, they might. Nah, Geelong won't push themselves back to 40 just to do that, I don't think. Gold Coast, that's going to get burnt with Hewland. Brizzy, that pick's going to get burnt with Annabelle. Adelaide. Future second and 38. Nah, I don't think so. Is there a Richmond? Could I try that? Try that at as a reset. So just resetting it for you. You want Richmond 38 for what pick are you thinking? Because Geelong I can't see doing it. Gold Coast are burning these picks for Hewland. 17's getting burnt for Annabelle. Your next best bets are Adelaide. You've got to work your way backwards. Least valuable because you're obviously giving away the worst pick. Least valuable upwards. So, yeah. I can't imagine it happening, to be honest with you. 16. Yeah, 16 in a future second. You just got to hope Adelaide accept that. I don't think they would, though. I can't see it too beneficial for them. And you can't really bundle up 38 and 81 for anything either, because that 81's a throwaway pick when we're only taking 57 players in the draft, you know? Could we do 4 for 5, 15 from Essendon? So that's for Richmond. All right, let's reboot it. Reboot it all. Start again. 4 for 5, 15 from Essendon. Oh, Essendon need to get 15 off the Bombers. What did we say that? 15 for 21 and 27. Okay. So Essendon need to get it from Gold Coast. My bad. So 15. We're happy with that trade. That trade picks up Gold Coast, more points for Patterson. Bombers move up the queue to do a secondary trade. I think that we can land on that. And then you wanted to do 4. For 5 and 15. I think Richmond would do that in a heartbeat. 100%. Richmond would do that in a heartbeat. I don't think Essendon ever would. You'd need to throw a second back, at least. And maybe give him that spare 200 points or 300 points for Suede. Then you're looking a bit fairer, I think. Yeah, I don't think that will happen ever either. I think Essendon are just better off just hoping they get their guy. Richmond look the other way. They go with whoever, Grill, Roby, whoever it might be. Even if it's 350, I agree. I think Essendon are just better off just hoping they get a pool of 3 players that they're happy with, and they just take the 2 remaining. Yeah, that's the one thing I want to look at. Because Gold Coast have a ton of academy players. That's a good point, Whitman. Let's have a look. Gold Coast. Let's write this down. I'm going to write this down. So we're happy with the 21-27 for 15 for Gold Coast. I just want to see how many points that is compared to the North Melbourne trade. Gold Coast got a lot of options for that pick 15. So they're picking up. Oh, Mass has gone off here. What happened there? Bit of a bug. There's those bugs I was telling you about. Yeah, okay. So Gold Coast pick up 281 points with that one. Let's reboot it and look at the North one. Pick 15. And North, 25 and 26. It's only 178. So they're better off going with Essendon. They're better off trading pick 15. That trade would work for both teams, but the Essendon trade's better. And a 15 and 5, that can get them up as close to 2 or 3. I'm pretty happy, I think, with that. I think you're right, Wim. I think that's a good move for Gold Coast, just to accumulate as many points as we can. And also North trade 25 and 26 for either Lions pick 17 or Suns at 18. The problem with the Lions is the Lions they're already under the threshold for Annabelle. They need to get more points, not throw away points. So I'll play it out for you, but it's not really feasible for them. So let's say North, they still want to move up 25 and 26 for 17. I'll trade it, but watch Brizzy's points here. Oh, they're going up, aren't they? My bad. I'm an idiot. What am I talking about? Yeah, that makes sense for them. And then they can match it for. They got 2,000 points now. So they can match it even if Annabelle goes 4, they can just do a straight match. And yeah, that makes sense for them. I like that one as well. Whether North do it or not, they've moved up. Oh, they've moved up about 7 points, 7 spots. Cal saying North won't trade it. Well, I believe anything Cal says. He's easily the best journo in the business. He's the only one that knows what's going on these days, it seems. If Cal Twomey says it, it's gospel as far as I'm concerned. think he's like the Adam Schefter of AFL. The guy in the know. He's got all the agents' numbers in his pocket. I'm just going to take a quick breather, grab another can of beer and a toilet break. Give me a minute. I'll be back. Sorry, guys. Thanks. All right, I'm back. Are we good? Cal was hinting Bombers are not necessarily chasing CDD. They need midfielders. I don't know. I don't know how much news there is on Richmond wanting CDT. So I've got to get. Depends on if someone North Raiders have picked 10, say, and they've fallen to 17, then they would do 25 and 20. Yeah, exactly right, Josh. Correct. They'd need to do it as a live trade. They wouldn't do it beforehand or anything. I don't know who around that range would Clarko be targeting. Thinking, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, North would just have their board. I wouldn't. I've got no idea who North would want. Not a clue. Oh, it's not a bad ball. It's all right. Oscar Taylor. Yeah. All talk Tigers for Grill. Not really. I think Richmond feel like that's who they want, and then everyone's just expecting him to be gone by the time Richmond are done picking. Poison of choice. Just a Cooper's today. Cooper's Pale. Can Gold Coast move to 2 and still match their bids? I don't know what you mean by move to 2. They're going to get 2. They're going to get Ewland at 2. Are you talking about the ones after Patterson, I'm assuming? So Adensol is a Gold Coast one. There was a couple of them down the back. Coulson, Murray. Jeff White's son, Kalani White. There's a few of them. But what's that? That's 5 players right off the bat. Can they trade up to 2? Okay, it's worth exploring. I don't know how they do it. All right, your best bet is you trade your most valuable picks. How high are you going to get, though? 15, 18. Would that assist Carlton? So Carlton get more points for Ison. 454 points. That's a lot. That's good. And then you're looking at 9 and 24. How high can you push that? Melbourne would do it for 8. Probably 7, 6. I don't know how you're going to get West Coast to give up. If you can trade 24 and 28 for a 13, no. I don't think so, man. Can they trade up to 2 and then still match Hewlett and Patterson? 2027 first. I don't think so. That's going to be worthless. Gold Coast are going to be near the top of the ladder at that point. You're looking at 2 more years out of, their young midfield. Hewland, Rao, Patterson. Tracker will be on the back end. He'll be on the back 9. And then you got, Rao, Anderson. Yeah, I don't think so. I think Gold Coast. And then you got Tassie Devils on top of that, pushing everyone back. That 2027 first would pick. That's going to be pick 30. That'll be worthless. Well, not worthless, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it is Whitman. You're right. Not too many around. Melbourne second. I would expect that to fall in the 20s as well. Early to mid 20s. I'm just not expecting them to have a good year. So let's get rid of that first. 24, 28, and a second. I think anyone from pick 15. Would you do it for 15? Would you do it for 11? Maybe Carlton get more points. No, they lose points. But they gained a few points on that last one, didn't they? How many points have they got up here? They got tons of points to match it. Harry Dean. Just trying to remember what it was. 15 and 18 for 9. Carlton picked up 454 points. They can get up to 11. And then you bundle 9 and 11 for, what would you do? 6? Throw in a second. I reckon you can get to about as good as 6. And that's probably, you're going to be doing well to get anyone to agree to that, I think. Gold Coast trading with Gold Coast. 9-11, 2,500 points plus a future second. Oh, I might get you there. So what's West Coast hand look like then? They're going to end up with 1, 9, 11, 13. 4 in the top 13. 4 in the top 13. What are they starting off? I always forget. They got 3 in the top 13. So they picked up an extra top 13 pick. But they lost pick 2 in the process. If Essendon traded to 2, I think they would only do it to screw Gold Coast and Brizzy. If they did, what would Essendon net picks be? I think they would go Roby and best mids. All right, let's play it out for you, man. If Essendon traded to 2. So how did we get to Essendon 2? It was 15 and 5, wasn't it? Let's do that again. Sorry, excuse the burps. Apologies. And then Essendon give 5 and 15 to West Coast. They've got 2. All right, so what was your scenario? If Essendon traded to 2, I think they would only go to screw Gold Coast and Brizzy and Carlton. Yeah. Did I not execute that trade? What happened there? Reboot it. Unless I've got another bug. They pop up everywhere with this thing. Did I click 2? What am I doing? We got a bug. No. Oh, I'm not. I'm just clicking nothing. Okay. Execute trade. Boom. 5, 15. West Coast. Sorry, I was just getting ahead of myself. It's been working the whole time. I just wasn't clicking the buttons myself. So what was your scenario again? Sorry, mate. I've Essendon traded to 2. I think they would only do that to screw Gold Coast. Yeah. More than likely. So they need to get 150 points. What did we say for Brizzy for picking up that 150 points again? Can anyone remember? We had it. Yeah. It's going to get pushed out. We did have a trade for Brizzy to pick up more points prior to the draft. I'm just trying to remember what that trade was. I've written it down somewhere. Can anyone remember? Someone trading up for 18. Dogs. It was the North trade. Bid on Patterson first. All right, let's do that. So they've just got enough there. 25, 26, 27, 34. How are we looking? West Coast 13, 15, 17. Carlton have still got 11, 13. Carlton need to move back. think. And then Annabelle should be able to match. Yeah, if Annabelle falls to 4, they've just got enough points. But if you think about taking him in the top 3, you're putting him in deficit. So Brizzy, yeah, you make him just pay up in the top 3, really, is your best bet. They can trade back. But it's who wants to get that pick 17. Oh, it was Saints, wasn't it? Was it Saints? For Filippo? They can't make that work. Is Melbourne pick 7 and 8 for 2 likely, or really only Essendon? Well, that'll get them. It's really where the West Coast want to do it, isn't it? So 7 and 8, they're looking at coming possibly sharp. As far as the net index goes, they've picked up points for Tyler Williams and Banfield, so that's beneficial. You'd think. I think that's doable. Eagles fans wouldn't like it. Not sure if Melbourne fans would like it. Oh, you said 2 though as well, didn't you? My bad. We'll do it before the draft started. Who are you thinking for Melbourne? CDT to be the new Luke Jackson, training behind Gawn again. Saints trade with Carlton. That's the only way I can see this trade going. Saints trading with Carlton. Saints haven't got a lot to give. They're non-factors in this draft, I think. Would you do that? Let's say Saints. I reckon they're going to be knocking on the door of the top 8 this year, whether they get there or not. Maybe pick 9, 10-ish for pick 12. Yeah, maybe. Gets Carlton what they want. That way they've got 3 first rounders. They're getting Walker at that point for sure. Even if he wants to go 1. You could bundle up 3 first rounders for a pick 1 pretty comfortably, I think. Yeah, Saints have got nothing to really offer anyone either, unless they want to trade their future first to get into it. I've got no idea if they've got any kids on the way up either that, might push themselves into that first round next year. So, Code Sports reporting that, and they get Philippou to play. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just you need to. So you think with Carlton, it's just if they future first for Carlton's pick 11. Carlton are okay to pick. They want to move back, but they want to get points. They don't want to just harpoon 1,200 points. A little bit of a. Carlton's points drop to 1,500 if they get rid of one of those draft picks, which means a bid needs to come after. For Harry Dean, needs to come after pick 6. So Dersma, Euland, we get rid of. It's probably pretty doable, actually. Just trying to rattle through these quickly for you. Yeah, so pick 6. They can just match it, or are they falling short? Yep, no, they match it. They do match it. Saints would probably want a second back. So what we do, we did pick 11 for future 1. Let me reboot it. What are we saying? Pick 9 and a future second. They haven't got that future second. They've got a 4th. So they're not going to give up one of the first rounders. That basically gives them all they're taking is Walker. That's it. They've got no other picks for next year. That's assuming that they bundle all 3 picks for Walker. They might have 5th, 6th, and 7th. That's about it. When do you think Carlton will start trading back, and what pick will they continue to match if Deeney's left? Well, pick 9's their most valuable commodity. So then you got to look at the clubs that would want pick 9. West Coast is an obvious answer. They want as many high-end picks as they can. But they don't want to go too far back either. So 13, if you work something with 13 and you just get Carlton a few extra points somehow, it's no skin off their nose. 13 and 34 for pick 9. West Coast lose a little bit of a few points. Carlton pick up a few points. You might throw in a 53, bump it up 130, make it worthwhile. Because that's all Carlton want to do. Carlton just want to, no matter which way you split it, Dean's getting a bid before pick 9. They're going to have to match it. So they're going to have to trade their most valuable pick and then the next best one. So you may as well go get rid of that. You may as well match it with 11 and 13 rather than 9 and 11. That's the way I see it. If I was them, I'd be doing that. And you just give yourself a better chance at picking up your second academy player. because you can split it either way, but you're getting Dean. That's it. Sorry, mate, I wasn't reading this, so I can't see Saints doing it then. Seems a fair trade first. Yeah, I agree. A Saints and a Carlton would work. Problem is, they're not picking up points for Dean. That's the only issue. They're harpooning their chance of getting Harry Dean. So maybe look at someone else. What about GWS? Would you look at them? And would that work? $35. GWS, where are they going to finish next year? Let's say top 6, which gives them about pick 12 to 15. Let's say 10 to 15. 10 to 15 and 35 for pick 9. Would you think about doing that? It's not far off. Carlton's still losing 1,000 points, though. Yeah, not really viable. That's the main one. Carlton want at least, I reckon, 1,500 points when it's all said and done. So if you execute that, they're at 17. They can probably make it work. Yeah, they can. Okay. Any way of Carlton trading up to 5 or 6 and then still getting Dean after a pick? We can look at that. Suggestion for the app. Could you make the team selections point and how many picks they have? Yeah, man. I was thinking that 100%. Suggestion for that. Could you make the team selections? So basically the club cards up the top here? Yeah, I was thinking that. It must be a nightmare to look at this on a phone. On the TV it might be okay, but yeah, it's small. I know that. Club cards bigger and clearer. Problem is I just didn't want to take up too much real estate down the middle here. So it's just real estate's a bit of a premium with this thing. Yeah, I'm with you. I'll see what I can do. I'll try and get it a bit visually appealing and just make it a bit clearer for everyone. But yeah, on your phone it's be bloody hard. I understand that, and I apologise. I just can't do much about it. I'm on a computer monitor here. Is it okay? Nah, I think you're right. I think it is small. It is small, and I'm I'm a foot away from a computer monitor as well. So there's that. You might be a couple of meters away from your TV screen. All right. Anyway, of Carlton trading up to 5 and 6 and still getting Dean after a pick. Let's explore that. Anyway, of Carlton trading up to 5 or 6 with Essendon. So you would go 11. You need to bundle all these picks that have points values. 54 is a bit of a throwaway because, as we said, there's only 57-ish players getting taken. But I reckon you could go... You can maybe get 7. Melbourne still get the player that they want. No, 8, sorry. 8. Melbourne still get the preference. Carlton get points. So I can get 8. You might be able to get 8 with 11, 43, and 54. How many players has Twomey suggested Melbourne are taking? 4 players. That's going to be one of them. That's going to be gone. 3 and 4. So 37 and 66 turns into 43 and 54. That's doable. That Melbourne might look at that. Does that make sense? So that's their play. They're going to take 4 players. They're taking whoever that is. Let's say Cumming or whoever. That's getting traded away. Yeah, that's getting traded away. That turns into 11. Moves back 3 spots, whatever. But then that turns into 43, and that one moves up. Oh, it's kind of a nothing trade. They might do it. Yeah. Spinkscapes, welcome, mate. You'd have West Coast bid on Ewell and Patterson right out of the gate. Let's look at it. Boom. Match bid. So they've 235. How much points are they short? They're 942 points short. They can just carry a deficit. I didn't include that in my initial thing. I hadn't researched it enough because it hasn't happened too often. It's happened once ever. But yeah, you'd force them into a trade, really, wouldn't you? So these are the only picks they've got left. And they haven't got a first rounder for next year either. They've given that up in the... I assume that was a Petrarca trade. So maybe bundle some seconds. How many points they need? They need 942. The Doggies. Would the Doggies take 2 second rounders? I don't think so. If we throw in a throwaway 50, nah, they've fallen short. I don't know where. That's a good point, Josh. I don't know where the they don't have any academy selections next year, so I think they just take the deficit. Exactly right. I think they take the deficit. Where were we? 942 points. Let's assume that they're going to be top 4. So that's pick 14. 14 to 18. Let's say they end up at the bottom 4 and there's no academy nonsense. That gives them 1,000 points, 1,024. This points tally, points index table, I'm calling it. I've coded it anyway. This is going to change. They move in the goalpost next year, as they do. But for argument's sake, 942. So that pushes them back to. They're going to have 1,024, take away 900. That'll push them way back to like 80 points, like back to the 40s. As their first pick. Ish. But yeah, you can absolutely screw them if you wanted to. If you're West Coast. West Coast have got a really powerful position by having 1 and 2. I just hope they utilise it. It doesn't happen too often. Melbourne was the last time with Scully and Trengove, pretty sure. Can't remember anyone else doing that. Oh, the foundation teams may have had it. Josh Kelly and Tom Boyd, maybe? Can't remember. Who was the other number 1 for Gold Coast back then? Scully was Melbourne. I can't remember. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think West Coast has zero chance of bidding with their first pick. I agree. I don't think there's a chance. It's just the prestige. They're like, yeah, we've got the best kid in the country. What are you going to do about it? Like, this is our guy. We're going to back him. All that kind of nonsense. It's not going to go, oh, we like this guy better, but we'll take you second. I don't think that would be the approach. It's just, I know it's optics nonsense, but that's just, I think, yeah, Rail and Anderson. Sorry, yeah, good point. Widescreen. My memory's shot. How's that for a 1-2? Jeez. But yeah, put him in a deficit. Annabelle, they can't match it if he's pick 3. If it's pick 4, if Annabelle gets to pick 4, they can do it. I think Brizzy, they will match anything. Wherever he comes, they kind of are forced because they're going to give up an elite talent. And if they choose to just let him go to the other team, they're picking at pick 18. So I can't see any scenario, even if you went in pick 1, they'd do the deficit. Yeah, correct. Jamara went pick 1, and then I think it was at Thilthrop went to pick 2. Crows were in the market for a key forward. I think it was Thilthrop. What if Annabelle picked 2? Yeah, so they'll go into deficit. Brizzy. 477. So again, assuming this index is exact same, which it won't be, they win the premiership. They're losing, what did I say, 477, so roughly 500 points. Let's say 336. That punts their first rounder back to pick 35, effectively. Ish. Yeah. How about pick 2 and pick 13 for Essendon's 4 and 5? Yeah, I like that spin skates. I think it's good for Eagles for sure. Where are we? Sorry. Did I read that? Picks 4 and 5. I think you mean 5 and 6, but yeah, I know what you're saying. They're 2 early ones. Yeah, so West Coast are runaway winners with that. 13 levels it out a bit. Well, they lose out, really. Why are they? Okay, I've got to do a proper reset. I've got to reset this. That might be a little bug I've picked up. So 5 and 6. So Eagles lose out a little bit, and that's the problem. Because the Eagles have got the most valuable piece in the trade. You need to convince them to agree to whatever's going to go down. That's the sticking point. You throw what can you throw at them? Pick 30. Pick 30 could be Tyler Williams right there. And that will be Essendon's 5th pick. They're taking 5 players. So 5, 6, and 30 for 2 and 13. They're not really, that 30 is kind of a throwaway for them. Eagles have got Dersma. Bombers get CDT. Yeah. That's how I always look at a trade. The person with the most valuable commodity, like the wanted piece out of it, they're the ones that generally need convincing. It's not like, oh, I've got something pretty good. Let me give it to you so I can have a bunch of other stuff. Swap 34 and 30 with it. Let's undo it. So what did we say? 2 and 13, 5 and 6, 30 and 34. It's pretty much dead even almost. I would, if I was Essendon, I would kind of yield a little bit and just make it pick 41 or 53 because they're probably not really planning on using it too much anyway. And that way it's more enticing to West Coast. So that's the key piece. That's the one that both teams want. That's the close enough. And then you level it out with the other 3 pieces. Yeah. Yeah. You do it. Pick 21. I can tell you West Coast fans wouldn't be happy with it. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. They want points. They want Banfield and Williams as a couple of those you want three high-end players from the top of the draft and then fill it out with Williams and Banfield, I think would be West Coast's plan going into the draft. You got 5 players there. You're looking at Robertson. I think they got 4 extra slots. And it's actually a pretty good group of players that have been delisted this year. Will Phillips was an early draft pick. Whether he's ever going to hit, Tom Mitchell can have some value. There's a bunch of them. Now do the Gold Coast Essendon swap with it. So that was the 15 for 21 and 27. Yeah. Okay. Reset. Boom. Execute trade. And then you want to do the West Coast 2, 5, 6, 30 for 34. What is going on with the maths here? Hang on. Have I stuffed up here? Is that what you mean? I think that's what you mean. Yeah, exactly. $13 and $41. So 2, 13 and 41 for 5, 6 and 30. West Coast hand at this point is pick 1, 5, 6 and 30. I don't think so. Maybe. They'll definitely have enough points for Williams at that point. So you got your 3 high-end picks, 1, 5 and 6. You've got your Williams. Let's say Williams goes at, what do we think, 25? I'm just going to draft a bunch of players at 25. So we get to pick 25. Preferably ones without any academy ties. Where are we? Let's just get to pick 25. No, go away. Go away. Don't want you. Non-tied players we're looking for. Right, so Eagles, let's say someone, North Melbourne bid on Williams at 25. Eagles should have enough to bid to match there. Where is he? Yeah, they got a little bit of points left over, 283. So let's say he gets bid on at pick 25 with that hand. So Eagles have ended up with Dersma, Sharp and Cumming, Williams, and how many points have they got left over for Banfield? They've got 325. Clear my filter, get out of there. So 325. So Banfield at that point can slip to, providing a bid doesn't come in for Banfield before pick 36. That's what we're looking at. Yeah, it's just the surname. The surname throws you off, unfortunately. We haven't seen much about the second brother as well. He just never got a shot. He must train terribly or something. I don't know why he'd pick someone at pick 4 or whatever it is and just never give him a go. I think half the games he's played, he's been as a sub as well. Put him in front of the action to just see what he's got. But Clarkson doesn't seem to want to do that for whatever reason. West Coast have 0 draft picks left. Yeah, correct. Exactly. So basically they're going off the what's the word? Off the master plan. That's assuming West Coast take 4. I can add a pick here. They're like, oh sweet. All right. So they're going one more. So it's not gonna pass on us. So yeah, and we'll just rattle. Oh, go away! There's so many tied players. They're just tied to all these different clubs. So yeah, 36 is what we're looking at for a falling range to Banfield, and that way he gets to Eagles. 325. So pick 36 is what they're hoping, which from all reports I don't think he's going in the top 36. So Eagles can walk away very happy. Boom, there you go. That'd be a big success. Dersma, Sharp, Cumming, Williams, and Banfield. Banfield, I'm not a full book on the rookie list and rules and that. I've got to do a bit more research in that. But my understanding is if he's undrafted, they can absolutely take him as a rookie. I'm going to call it tonight, guys. Thank you very much for your time. I also need to do a few things around the house before I hit the hay. Williams at Cats first. You reckon? That'll be disastrous for the Eagles. Where was Cats? Cats are at 19. So once we get past West Coast pick at 15, if let's assume no trades go through, Melbourne. So you reckon Williams at 19? He's got a big draft range. I can say that for sure. Yeah, they can still match it. If it gets to, assuming no trades go through, they can still match that. All right, guys, that'll do me. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll try and do another one in the next couple of days, potentially tomorrow. Just depends what else is going on. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you on the next one.